place said we could absolutely guarantee that, you know.
If I died, he might as well get rid of the telly, everything, because he's got no idea how to work anything. You know, be a waste of time.
So who controls the remote?
Oh, he does.
I control it.
He controls the remote once I turn it on for him.
All right.
He's hopeless, though, aren't you? You're hopeless, though, aren't you? He's got, and even like he'll hear him. I'll be upstairs and I'll hear.
I do not need to know those things when I had 120 staff to work for.
He'll be upstairs. And
that was their job, and they were getting paid for it, and they were totally happy. I had the happiest staff under the sun.
What did you do?
Eh?
What did you? What
I was the New Zealand claims manager for an insurance company. And I just...
No, but he's hopeless, he's got no idea. And then he'll sit down, you know that he doesn't have to turn the telly on, and he's going, damn
You're
thing.
not mechanically made?
Damn thing. No, not at all.
The biggest thing I used to do, one of the funniest things I ever had in my life was, I don't know what the hell you're doing there, but was, you know how you do business plans in business?
Yeah.
And every year we do this business plan, and I give it to the general manager, my general manager, and he'd come back with about 30 or 40 changes. And I used to get really irked, you see. So this particular year, Lucy, who was my 2OC, and Brian, who was my performance manager, who was a big Maori chap, bloody brilliant, this bloke. Do anything with a computer, anything. You know. So we went out to lunch, and went at 12, and we got back at about 4. Now the business plan was due in at 8 o'clock the next morning, so we sat in my office, closed the door. Lucy's typing flat out, you know, and Brian, and we're thinking all of these words in the English language, you know, hyperbolic learning curve and all these things, and we're throwing them all in. And then in the morning, Lucy spell checked it and sent it up. About 11 o'clock, my boss walks in, he throws it on my desk, and he said, "Did you write this stuff?" I also thought, I'm going to have to own up and say, yes, I did it, because I had to carry the can. I said, "I did, Gary." He said, "It's the best business plan that has ever been presented to me in my life."
Is it?
Yeah, well, that's the political wing. So, I mean, the IRA, because the Army Council was illegal and all that, membership was illegal. So, you wouldn't know where their headquarters was.
So Bobby Sands, I mean, he was the head one that died, but really, was he like a general in the IRA?
He was the officer commanding in the Maze prison.
Oh, the Maze prison.
So
Yeah.
this is what they thought was rights
Oh, well, that's the pipes from the old days anyway. You saw that at the Battle of the
This is Danny and Karen on the Falls Road.
South, you see all these monuments, you know, to fighting against the English, and here you are in the same bloody city, and you've got it. It's not really that comfortable if you think about it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can go down south and you can sort of say, yes, they fought the English and they're separate, but here it's together.
Oh, I know, cheek Bajel. That's right.
It's
crazy that it's one.
and I mean, this is only a couple of hundred metres away from
we're
the
talking.
Yeah, it's Shankill. Yeah.
opposition.
We're talking an hour. He died in
That's
prison.
good.
Died in practice prison.
1942. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Was that executed? That looks like it was executed, doesn't it?
Yeah. Probably hung. So what I'll do is I'll post this video over to you.
Oh, thank you very much.
No problem.
It'd be a myth, wouldn't it?
Eh?
Be a myth, wouldn't it? Alcohol-free area.
Pretty much so.
So get out of my way, I'm trying to take a photo.
You find something else?
Nobody drops their money, do they? Because these will be the currency of here, won't they? They won't be.
That's a penny.
Yeah, but they'll be like in Northern Ireland, will they be?
No, no.
Oh, they're just a British
British.
penny. Oh, they look different on the. They have because
They're different
like
from
in
euros.
the
Like.
euro have all the country
Cents,
where you're at. Yeah, but the euro has the country where you are.
Yeah.
It'll have like
yeah.
Spain on it,
Yeah.
or yeah. It'll have the you know.
So that would have been. That's a kind of a dwelling that was probably built about 1980 or something like that. So it would have been all kitchen houses, two up, two down here.
Okay,
So there would have been wee tiny shops.
Oh,
You know,
okay, so they
houses that have been turned into shops.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
you
the
know
size of what it would have been.
the modern
Yeah.
equivalent. You know.
Yeah, it's just like a little
So it's like everything on top of everything else. You know.
yeah.
You squeeze as much in as you can to sell it.
It's the brick is very drab, isn't it? Makes it
Aye.
very drab
And
everywhere.
there was a
doesn't
wee girl in there when I went in, she's probably about 4-year-old,
it? Yeah.
and the girl behind the counter knew her by her name, and she says, "What do you want, Maria?" And she says, "My mummy sent me for a bottle of Domestos bleach,"
Oh, bleach, yeah.
and she says, "It's on the bottom shelf, the yellow bottle." So the wee lassie, she picked up the bottle, and right, now you mind yourself going home, Maria.
Yeah, just so different. But that's what we've found.
So they would know,
That's for you.
they would know all the people by.
We've got one in the car.
Yeah, well,
That's
the
me.
dock is down. You could probably actually get down to the dock.
Just walk down, we can drive down.
Well, you can't get down that way. We'll have to
Yeah,
probably.
I saw the tourist bus going around.
Yeah.
I think we'll get back in the car before
Yeah.
this thing explodes on it.
So it's
There's Buddy McVeigh's there.
So this is
Yeah.
who's
that's UDA.
So this is
Oh, so the tents.
Oh,
Yeah.
so these are Protestant Catholics.
Protestant. Yep. And there's a club up here called the Welders Club.
Yeah.
So the welders out at the shipyard. It's a wee social club. So again, there would have been shebeens over here.
Sabines for them and
Yeah. So
gosh, it's really pretty much it, isn't it?
yeah.
It's pretty much full on with it, isn't
Obviously
it?
a
Yeah,
bus
yeah.
blowing up or something. Oh, that's fine. They certainly can't forget it, can they? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a living memory, isn't it? Just all up like this.
So if you follow the bus,
What bus?
we're seeing
I know.
the small one, the single decker.
Yeah.
You're going over the bridge, and as you come up to the bridge, you want to get into on the right hand side
Okay.
to go over the bridge. So you're coming back over the lagoon. Napoleon's Nose is over on your right
Lovely,
again.
all this. Is this all new?
That's all new, that's Waterfront Hall and the Hilton Hotel now.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is, yeah. Oh. So this is Ann Street, and on your left there is PSNI location. Used to be RUC, so they call that Musgrave Street Barracks.
I've heard of that.
Royal Ulster Constabulary.
Yeah, RUC is right. So you're following the car that's on down there, the black one?
Yeah, we're going around the block, aren't we now?
Yep, that's it.
And then into where we were?
Uh-huh.
House.
Stay in this inside lane, yeah. And there's the clock, you're back at the clock, and you're turning right at the clock.
We are now.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be great.
So that was the Andy Gibb tour of Belfast.
Andy Gibb.
Truncated.
We went to Prague and they had Martin tours on a bus.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we've had Gibb tours.
Yeah.